My name is Miguel Horn. I'm a visual artist working in large format sculpture and installation in public space. You know, I think Monument Lab is a really supportive organization, and a really nice part of this residency is, you know, learning from another artist about how their practice informs their work, and learning about their techniques of you know, working within community. Seeing Simone in practice has been really enlightening. Her energy is just palpable, and like the kind of format for this residency gave a lot of room for us to kind of explore and grow into the opportunity. You know, the artist who designed the Statue of Liberty is a Frenchman. Bartholdi was an abolitionist, and his design for the piece was in celebration of the abolishment of slavery. That's not common knowledge. So the Statue of Liberty was still in construction during the Centennial exhibition that happened in this neighborhood 150 years ago. And so on display down the street was this massive hand of the Statue of Liberty and this torch that you could walk up, and you could kind of go through this statue and stand up and look around. So naturally, like where my studio is, you know, there's 4 schools within a block. And over the year, I connected with Discovery Charter School, which is the school that is down the street. Puts them clay in their hands, and just getting themselves creative and getting their hands moving, and feeling what kind of intention those marks make. So one of the games that we played was kids lined up on one side of the studio, and they had to get across the studio without one of their teachers seeing who was holding the torch. And I said, oh, that's amazing. Let's capture you all holding that torch. So they all kind of reached up and grabbed it, and you know, they're struggling because you got to stay still when you're 3D scanning. You have to hold still. It became really interesting to think about this collection of kids holding this up, and you know, these ideas of our liberties, you know, kind of speaks to this elusive quality of those rights and those liberties. And so, you know, the sculpture is made up of, you know, hundreds of pieces of acrylic, you know, but then when you put them together, as you layer them, you know, your eye puts them all together. You know, it's also like a really beautifully meditative process. Like, it's something that you're searching to make out. Yeah, it's kind of like history and what that symbol of liberty and what that symbol of freedom means. And so there's this kind of balance where the work kind of starts to go, because it's falling too much, that, you know, it's not always a stagnant thing, but it's kind of dynamic and in motion. And so people actually have to hold it up in the space, in the show.
When I was introduced to Miguel's work, you know, I'm looking up and I'm seeing humongous sculpture, and I'm feeling like overwhelmed, this like awe, right? And I love that feeling, the feeling of awe, and that's what Miguel's work has always given me. And then to bring it down to size and to see how multifaceted the work is, and how 3D printing and sculpture can really present something incredibly beautiful. I mean, the piece looks like a crystal.
Over the next month, as this exhibition is up, that you think about what it means to not just look at liberty, but hold the weight of it and carry that weight and share that weight, and maybe even move it yourself in the work of Miguel. Can we raise a glass to Simone, to Miguel, for all they've accomplished here and all that they will do?
Kind of full circle moment when, you know, we were able to get a field trip for the kids who inspired these pieces, and have them come down to the gallery and see the work in person, and see their own hands in the artwork. And I think that was really awesome, because these kids could come to this space, you know, see themselves represented, have that full circle moment where they're not only part of the inspiration, but, you know, also there to celebrate the final work. I thought it was really beautiful.